Coming up on this week's show, we travel up north of the Columbus area. We are in Mohican country, as well as Mansfield, and we stopped by Galleon, found some pretty interesting stuff. We went to a restored home, or a home that's in the process of being restored. Then we made our way over to a great place for some comfort food in Mansfield. And finally, we stopped by this beautiful bed and breakfast. Renee, what did you find?
Well, thanks, Mike. Well, if you're looking for Mohican to be your next escape this summer, we found all kinds of things to do, anywhere from wine to coffee to beer and all kinds of other things in between. You're not going to want to miss a moment of today's show. I'm Renee Joseph, and along with Mike Kilburn, we are Out and About Columbus. If you love a good glass of wine, you've got to check out Way Vineyards in Wooster, Ohio. It's time for you to find your wine time. Well, Jim, welcome to Out and About Columbus, and thanks for having us out to Way Vineyards.
Thanks for having us too.
Well, I got to tell you, visiting a vineyard is one of my favorite things to do. I love wine. Tell us who's behind Way Vineyards.
Well, Way Vineyards started as a venture with my wife and I. I grew up farming. She grew up in the wine industry as far as our early careers. She wanted to get back into the wine industry when we moved here to Wooster from Columbus, and I wanted to get back into farming. And one thing led to another. We planted some vines for another winery, and several years down the road, we transitioned to the winery ourselves.
Wow, that's a really neat story. What is the significance from the clocks? I've noticed the clocks on all the bottles. That's really cool.
So the significance of the clocks is my wife and I still work full-time away from the winery. So we always have to find our wine time, to come make wine, to come sell wine, so on and so forth, and even occasionally to drink some wine. So that became the running joke, is that we needed to find wine time. And then it transitioned to, we're on the Lincoln Highway, so we pay homage to the L that's predominant in the Lincoln Highway signage. And we just incorporated that in to be the hands on the clock. So our 155 series, those are our dry wines. Our 404 series are our off dries, or semi-sweet, whichever way you want to call it. And then 616 became our sweet wines. Sweet 16, everybody knows that one.
I love it. That's so cool. Well, tell us what we're going to experience when we come here to visit the winery.
We want this to be a serious experience for those that want a serious wine drinking experience, but we don't want to intimidate people that are new to wine or are just learning about wine. So we try and keep it light for those that need it that way, but everybody behind the counter here can talk wine seriously too if need be. So.
Wow. Well, this is really a neat place. I'm so glad we were able to stop by today. How do we find out more information about Way Vineyards?
Sure. You can go to our website at www.lincolnwayvineyards.com, or you can just use the old-fashioned phone and call the winery at 330-804-WINE.
Well, if you've been cooped up with COVID, maybe a trip to the outdoors would be great. We stopped by Pleasant Hill Campground to check it out. Matt's joining us today. Matt, welcome back to Out and About Columbus. Good to have you on the show.
Good to be here, Mike. Thank you.
This place is really great. I saw the kids playing when I came in. I thought, just to see them outside and enjoying the outdoors is absolutely great. So tell us about some of the programs and camp weeks that you have.
Yeah, so we are a camp and retreat center. So during the spring, summer, and fall, we have different types of retreats, churches, organizations, scouts that come out on the weekends or during the week. And then during the summer, we offer 5 weeks of a Christian summer camp experience starting on Sunday, ending on Friday. This summer, we're starting on the 28th of June. The age group for that would be 8 years old all the way to 17 years old.
Very nice. So are you finding anything unique about this summer outside of we're all dealing with COVID and all those other things?
Yeah, there's definitely lots of different unique things. I think one unique thing about us particularly is that we are a Christian camp, and so having campers come, learning about the Bible, learning about God, taking a next step in their faith journey is important. But as for what's happening lately in our country, there's just a lot of things. And so us as a camp, we really felt called by God that, if there was any better time to do camp, it would be right now. And kids need camp more than ever. And so we've developed a lot of policies and procedures to allow us to do camp safely, effectively, and efficiently. So we have some, camp's going to look different this year, but we have, our climbing wall still, and swimming and archery, along with some new activities like our 125-foot slip and slide.
What kinds of accommodations do you have for campers if they're coming up here?
Yeah, so we're actually right in front of one of our older cabins, Cedar, and so Cedar has air conditioning, it has a furnace, it has a shower, it has toilets, so they don't have to walk to the bathhouse. But we also have, our cabins like this. We also have an RV park as well, where volunteers come out and stay and help us out do some things around camp. And so our ratio in the cabins, typically they sleep 1 to 14, but because of COVID now, that we're going to sleep about 1 to 8. So they each have their own little space and are able to social distance very nicely.
And boy, it sure sounds great. And of course, like I said, with everybody being cooped up, it's a great time to get to the outdoors.
Absolutely.
Give us some contact information where we can learn more about Pleasant Hill Campground.
Yeah, so you can find more information or sign up for camp on our website at www.phoc.org.
Well, on our way to Mohican Country, we stopped by the Gill House. This colonial house was built in 1904, and it is under a restoration project. And Brian's joined us today to talk a little bit about the history of the Gill House. Brian, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you came up to Gallion to see our home on this. The history of the Gill House is very interesting, and I'll go with the brief version of it. The house, as you indicated, began construction in 1903 and was occupied in 1904 by the Gill family, Bloomer Baker Gill and his wife Nellie Stewart Gill. They were descendants of early settlers of the Gallion area, and they decided, because of the success of Gallion, to build a very large home. They contacted an architect out of Detroit, Michigan, where Bloomer had some connections with early automotive leaders, including Henry Ford, and hired the architect to design this home. The home is one of the campers' last remaining homes of this style of a wood construction. Camper designed, for example, the Book Cadillac Hotel in Detroit. And we're delighted that he built this wonderful home in Gallion. It's a 6,000 square foot home, and we're working slowly but surely, restoring room after room.
I understand that there are some people connected with this that our viewers would know.
Yeah, there's several people that are connected with this that we hope your viewers know. Mrs. Gill, Nellie Stewart, was a lifelong friend of Mina Miller Edison, Thomas Edison's second wife, and the Edisons and the Gills were close. Through his connections in the automotive industry, Bloomer met Henry Ford, and through him, Harvey Firestone. And of course, Warren Harding was just over in Marion. Harding's parents, believe it or not, were married here in Gallion, Ohio. So we have the connection there as well. Family legend of the Gills said that after Harding's funeral in the 1920s, Firestone, Edison, and Ford all lunched in the dining room here in the house before Edison went on to Milan, Ohio, his birthplace.
So when will you welcome guests, or how can they see the home?
Well, we welcome guests now for tours on Saturdays, and they can come in and do it. Right now with social distancing, we are limiting the tours to 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock on Saturday, and limiting the groups to 8 or less, so we meet the 10 guidelines on that. They can contact us on our Facebook site and give us a message, and we'll be glad to book their tours on that. There is a modest charge.
Well, a trip to Mohican Country obviously begins or ends with some great food and drink, and we found that place. It's called Uncle John's. It's located in downtown Mansfield, and Nick's joining us today to talk a little bit about that. Welcome to the show, Nick.
Thank you. Welcome to have you.
Tell us a little of the history of Uncle John's.
Well, Uncle John's was started in 1971 by my father, John. He got to be here from my great-grandparents immigrated to Mansfield from a country called Macedonia in probably the early 1900s. And in turn, they brought my grandparents, who then started a restaurant called Chris's Cafe. And then my parents came over. You know, they all came in waves. And so my parents worked at Chris's Cafe from 1956 until 71, or 61, I'm sorry. My dad left and started Uncle John's. So my dad had just like a whiskey and beer joint kind of place. And he got moved around several places around town until finally up on the square here, across the street from where we are now, he started the first food operation. You know, they started serving some home food, some home cooking, some comfort food. You know, my mom said at first she would be knitting, nobody would come in, and then all of a sudden one person came in, and then it just kind of got going. And then in 1984 he bought this building, and and that's where we are here today.
What's the cuisine here? What are we going to find when we come in to eat?
Well, we're going to find classic American food like burgers, steaks, chops, home fries. We're really known for the home fries and this hot pepper salad. It's tomatoes, peppers, onions. It's grilled with the proprietary seasoning that we have. It's just kind of something that we're really known for, and that's kind of what really put my dad's place on the maps, that hot pepper salad. People would come down and order and eat it with the steaks and the burgers.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the bar.
Sure. This is the original bar that my father started with. He moved it from every place that he ever started to.
All right.
In the corner over there is a red stool that I kept after I renovated this place in 2011. It's one of the first stools he ever had in his very first place. And he would always have it at the corner there, and he would always sit in it, and everybody knew where to go find Uncle John.
Well, give us some contact information where we can find you here in downtown Mansfield, and send some folks your way from the Columbus
For
area.
sure. We're located in downtown Mansfield, 18 South Main Street. It's on the square. It's next to Mechanics Bank, across from the Richland County Courthouse. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 9. Closed on Sunday. Gotta have a day off.
Absolutely.
And phone number is 419-526-9197.
Ashland County Historical Society is rich with history, with 4 buildings to tour, full of North Central Ohio history. Well, Jenny, welcome to Out and About Columbus. Thanks for having us out to the Manor House here at the Ashland County Historical Society.
Thank you. It's great to be here, Renee.
Well, tell us, how does the Ashland County Historical Society, why is it so important in Ohio history?
Well, at one time, the Ashland County Historical Society had more millionaires per capita than any place else in the United States. The Manor House was built by Dr. Joseph Cohen, who was a member of the Senate in the Ohio State Senate, and he was also a member of the United States Senate, so he was very important. After him, F.E. Myers then bought this house for his son, and you can see a lot of what Victorian living looked like at the turn of the century in this home, so it's very interesting.
It's absolutely beautiful. Tell us what we could expect to find when we would come here for, say, a tour or something.
Well, we have one of the largest insect collections in the world. So when you come here, you'll be able to view our insect collection. We also have a natural history collection. We have a collection of farm tools. We have a turn of the century Main Street Ashland, which is very interesting, and people love to look at that. So there's a little bit of something for everyone when you come here, whether you have children or whether you're just interested in the history of Ohio and the history of Ashland County. It's very fascinating.
So with everything going on with the COVID and everything, is it different the way we can take a tour? How do we do that?
Well, it is a little bit different. So we do limit our tours to groups of 10. We ask you to call ahead for an appointment. Normally we're here Thursday through Saturday, but we will accommodate people if they would like to come. Just give us a call. Masks are required. That is part of what the state asks us to do so that we'll be safe. But we encourage people to come. We love having everyone, and we have lots and lots of interesting stories to tell.
Well, how do we find out more information, Jenny, about the Ashland County Historical Society?
Sure. Well, you can visit our website at www.ashlandhistory.org, or you can give us a call at 419-289-3111, and we'd be happy to answer your questions.
When you visit the Mohican area, you've got to stop by Forbes Farmstead Market for the freshest produce you'll find and lots of Ohio-made products. Let's talk about your products. Where do you get your produce and the other products that you sell here in the store?
Well, we actually grow quite a bit ourselves, and we have one other grower that grows quite a bit for us. And then I do end up going to Holmes County to buy some of the Amish produce as well. Really try to carry top line produce, and then we also have a number of other products that we carry. We have about 14 different local families and small businesses that we carry their specialty products, and trying to be able to showcase a lot of nice, good local and important products.
I noticed in the back you kind of have a nice meat display. Tell us about your beef.
We felt like it's really important. Both my husband and I grew up on farms where I grew up on a beef and hog farm. He grew up on beef farm as well as then ended up turning into a dairy farm. So we feel like it's very important that people know where their meat comes from. So we work with the growers. We have a fellow that grows Texas Longhorn. We have another farm that grows Wagyu Angus, and then a third one that grows red wattle pork. So we work directly with the grower. We are in connection with the processor. This day and age, with not knowing where your meat's being processed and how it's being processed, we feel those things are very important.
You're out in the beautiful country, the rolling hills. Tell us about where you are.
Well, we are on a farm here that Larry's family dates back now, I believe, 5 generations. Larry and I knew each other a number of years before we had gotten married, and when we got together and I first moved to the farm, and I said, you know, there's no good place to buy produce. And the following year, we just felt like one thing after another started to fall into place, and we really feel like it's God's calling for us to have a market here to serve our community.
Well, tell us, Wendy, how we can find out more information, where you're located, and, you know, how we can come out here and see this
Okay, it's Forbes Farmstead Market, as Renee had said, and we're at 5614 McCurdy Road in Perrysville, Ohio. And we are just at the west edge of the Mohican State Forest. We do not have a website, but we do have a Facebook page, and you can always Google us either way and find out more information.
Well, if you love a delicious cup of coffee, why not get the freshest, where they actually roast it right here? And that's what you'll get at Goldberry Roasting Company. It doesn't get any better than this. You guys call yourself a roastery. Is that right? What does that mean?
Well, our concept here is a little unique. We decided that we want the roasting operation to be central to what we do, and then to let our sales of our bagged coffee or our coffee that's brewed to be kind of secondary. So we call this a roastery. It's not a coffee shop. It sets it apart from coffee shops that are slinging syrup and espresso and those kind of things. We really focus on roasting the right way, and then serving coffee black with maybe some cream or sugar, but to really get the distinction of the different origins that we buy coffee from. So we also wanted the roaster to be central so that people that came in could see us operate. They could see what we do, and it's a very interactive, immersive kind of a situation here.
Also, I understand, have a nonprofit organization. What is the mission for that, and how does it benefit this company?
Well, actually, they kind of started together at the same time about 10 years ago. And the nonprofit is called Coffee Growing Community, and it was originally established to help impoverished coffee farmers in their communities to get back on their feet. And we realized early on that a good way to do that, instead of just throwing money at them, would be to help them improve the way they process their coffee, the way they grow it, and then for them in the free market situation, get more money for their coffee and be able to return that to their community and then help the whole community. So we started doing that, and we started in Mexico, and not long after that I realized that some things you have to do for community development really need to come through a non-profit. And then we have the for-profit, which is Goldberry, that helps support that, and they kind of work as sister companies, and they've worked very well. We are able to use some of our proceeds to help, but we also have donors that help with the non-profit, and then we help purchase their coffee and hope to get it out into the world at a good price so that they benefit.
How do we find out more information about Goldberry Roasting Company?
Well, our website for the roasting company, the roastery, our wholesale business, and our retail business is available at goldberryroasting.com. And if people would like to find more out about our nonprofit, it's coffeegrowingcommunity.org.
Well, if you're looking to enjoy the great outdoors this summer, Pleasant Hill Lake Park has everything you could want, from primitive camping to luxury cabins. You can find it all here. Let's talk about the park. What makes you guys unique?
Well, one of the things that's unique particularly about this particular park is we're one of the only parks in MWCD that allow horse camping. So we allow our visitors to bring their horses and camp with their horses. And we have about 88 miles of bridle trails, which is connected to Mohican State Park and Malabar Farm State Park. We're right in the middle of those two state parks. And because we have the horse camp, we have a lot of people that come out here with their horses and enjoy the trail rides out here with the different trails.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. Well, let's talk about some of the things that you've done to improve the park.
Over the last couple of years, we have done a master plan. We have worked on all of our campgrounds. All of our campgrounds now have a 50 amp service with full hookup water, paved pads, brought it up to basically standards that people want to see as well. Another thing we've done is that we've also added some log cabins, and we built 2 log cabins that are nestled in the wood areas that you can rent for a week or for the weekend. And all those are available online reservations. You can go to mwcd.org and make reservations for our campsites or for our cabins, or just to get general information about the park and the different activities that we offer for families. And for every age group, we have something for everybody.
Let's talk about activities. What is there to do when you come out here?
Well, a lot of the people come out here to go fishing. We also have a full-service marina, so you can rent your boats, whether it be a pontoon boat, or you can rent a kayak. We have kayaking programs that we offer for kids during the summer months as well. We have modified nature programs this year, which could be nature hikes. We do birding tours. We do learn to kayak, different types of activities like that. We also have a lot of different interesting things in the Welcome Center that we're in. The wall behind us is designed for the kids to be looking at different things that's hidden in this mural. So we have a quiz, and the kids and the families can interact together and look at the different types of fish types and try to find the things that's hidden in the mural.
How do we find out more information?
We can go to our website, which is mwcd.org, and go click on the Pleasant Hill Lake and have all the information about all our activities, how to make reservations for our camping area, and how to make reservations for our cabins as well.
Wonderful. Louis, thank you again. This is really a great place.
Thank you for coming out.
We stopped by Stein Brewing Company in the Mount Vernon area and spoke with their brewmaster, who told us about some of the new flavors of beer they're brewing, as well as some new menu items that just sound delicious. What makes you unique in the Mohican area here?
Well, being a brewery for, I want to say over 100 years ago, we're the first brewery since then to brew on site in town. It makes us really interesting, especially having a restaurant on top of that we do a lot of smoked meats and we pair it with beer. So it brings, anybody that comes in here is going to get something that they like.
Yeah, it sounds really good. Let's talk about what kind of new releases do you have coming up or exciting things going on?
Well, we just tapped our shandy for the summer. It's called As the Crow Flies. It's a raspberry lemonade shandy. We tapped that. And then with the whole pandemic going on, we did a West Coast IPA and we named it WTH20, which WTH is what the H, 20 is going on. So we did that. And then our next other beer that we have is our Kolsch that we brew. I think I brewed it 9 or 10 times since we've opened. So that's one of our really big staples. We do that in regular and blueberry. So
what do you guys love about being here in the Mohican area?
They like local. You know, the one thing the owner, Dave Stein, really likes is, you know, everything local. So we try to do, a lot of our meats are local. I've used local hops here in town for our beers and actually have local whole hops here that we use. Let's
talk about some of the dishes that you guys have here.
We're really big on our smoked meats. We have smoked brisket, pulled pork. We have a buffalo chicken that we smoke as well. Those are kind of our main staples. Our appetizers, we have bacon motts, deep fried, which are handmade in-house. All of our soups are made in-house, chili, dill pickle soup. We have the brisket platters. We do platters and sandwiches. You know, we smoke our wings.
Oh, it sounds delicious. Well, how do we find out more about the Stein Brewing Company?
We do have a website. It is steinbrewco.com, which has all of our menus and our beer menus. We try to get that on there to update, so you go in there to see exactly what we have. We're also on Untapped for beer, on the beer side. Like every time we tap a beer and we put it into Untapped, the website, it lets people know who's subscribed to Untapped, lets you know that we just tapped this beer. You can follow us on that way as well.
Well, you know, if you're looking for a great Ohio getaway, we found one in Belleville, Ohio. It's called the Wishmaker Bed and Breakfast, and Don is joining us today to talk a little bit about that. Don, welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you.
Well, give us a little bit of what makes this a great, unique destination. Tell us about that.
We're very unique in the area because, number one, obviously we're in a tiny town in the middle of Ohio. And our uniqueness is that we are only one of 4 or 5 restaurants, bed and breakfasts, and wineries all in one.
Wow. And the wine is a part of your specialty, right?
Yes, a huge part.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Our wine is different. We've actually developed over just a short time from the old vintner, Vic Swisher. We've actually developed a method to where we are no longer filtering the wine like we traditionally know. Back in the 70s, they started a advertising campaign of filtering. Now anywhere you go, you will find wine is filtered and everything is so filtered out. including the taste. We're going back, so you will find some pulp in Wishmaker's wine, but it's meant to be there.
So I guess one of the things you're kind of famous for is your cheesecake. So tell me a little bit about that.
Absolutely. When we started, the old owners did about 6 cheesecakes a week. My wife, Jennifer, has gotten us to the point where we do 30 cheesecakes a week, and it's not enough. We still have people wanting more. She does over 100 varieties of cheesecakes and kind of spaces that out over several weeks.
Yeah. Now, how many people can you accommodate in a bed and breakfast?
We have 8 rooms. Our suite actually can carry up to 6 people. We have accommodations where we could pull out bunks, and we usually use that for the bridal suite. Other than that, usually it's about 2 persons for a room, but like I said, we do have little cots we can pull out into room 7, which is large enough to accommodate, and obviously room 8.
Yeah, this is a beautiful patio area. It's great to enjoy this. An amazing place, Don. I thank you so much for sharing this with our viewers. Give us some contact information where people can make reservations to come up and enjoy this.
Great, well, thank you. It's the Wishmaker House Bed and Breakfast in Belleville, Ohio. My wife's email address is jennifer@wishmakerhouse.com. Number is 419-886-9463.
Well, we stopped by Prism Fireworks. They have 8 locations in Ohio, and boy, what amazing selection, over 1,000 items in here. We had an opportunity to talk to Eric and Tara and learn more about why you want to visit Prism Fireworks. Well, Tara, welcome down to Mount Columbus. Good to have you on the show. And Eric, good to have you on Prism Fireworks on the show.
Having us, Mike.
So tell us a little bit about the history of Prism Fireworks.
In short, my father did sold fireworks on the sideline to make extra money. And all these years later, we're Prism Fireworks, and we're well established now. We plan to expand our operations even more. We have 8 locations in Ohio and 1 in Florida. And Prism is our own brand of fireworks. It's exclusive to our company.
What made you decide to come to the Columbus market?
We love Columbus. It's a wonderful marketplace. There's nothing here but growth. So we're extremely excited to cater to the needs of the public, celebrate America's birthday and every other event.
So, Eric, when I walked in this place, it's just amazing, a selection. Tell us about how big this is. It's like a superstore.
Well, we have well over 1,000 items, and most everything's our exclusive brand, which is the Prism brand, made exclusively for us, and it is of the highest quality. And our slogans are, and the registered trademarks, America's best and favorite fireworks, better fireworks, better prices.
Yeah. So what's the most popular fireworks that people want when they come in?
A lot of people lean towards aerial repeaters and mortar kits. And of course the 500-gram case, because it's pretty much the closest you'll get to professional shows with these.
Sounds great. Well, Tara, turning to you, let's talk about the differences between this place and other firework competitors.
I would have to say it's our excellent customer service. When they come into the showroom, we have employees ready to assist them, explain what the performance is on the product.
Well, give us some contact information. As I said, a lot of your locations are well within our viewing area.
Yes, that would be prismfireworks.com, and we also have a Facebook page as well.
So follow you there, get some great deals. Tara, thanks so much for being on the show. Eric, thank you for being on the show.
Pleasure.
Well, we hope you enjoyed today's show. It was great traveling north of Columbus up into Mohican and Mansfield and seeing what they have to offer up this way. And, of course, be sure to visit these businesses. They are absolutely fantastic. And remember, you can always go to our website at onacolumbus.com. If you've missed some of the past episodes, that's where you can view them. Next week, we're back in Columbus. We're doing business around town. We got some great new businesses to introduce to you, so don't miss next week's show. Until then, thanks very much for watching.